A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everybody, welcome back to A+ English. I'm Pat.
And I'm Laura.
And we're on day 2 of our culture shock article about Lucia's job hunt. Yesterday, Lucia was looking for a job, but she was finding it very frustrating to answer all these questions and
I would too.
Stuff that maybe doesn't even have anything to do with her abilities. And that's going to relate to our warm-up question today, which is, what are you good at? List your skills.
Yeah, but whenever, say, if an interviewer asks me that, I feel like, if I'm being honest, I try to be very safe because I don't want to sound like I'm showing off or to brag. But I still have to say, a lot of my strengths. What do you think? How do you make it modest but professional?
I just go no, I'm great and you need to hire me.
So you have to really sound confident.
I think so, yeah. I don't think they want somebody to sound too modest or humble. They want people saying, no, look, I'm doing you a favor by coming to work for you. You want me on your team.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm going to say something very different that you guys probably don't know about me.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty good at detecting problems and finding solutions.
Okay.
And I'm not afraid of challenges, and I'm always willing to learn and try new things.
Mm-hmm.
And I have great communication skills.
That's always a good one to throw in there.
What about you?
I always go with I'm creative as pretty much my first thing to go to. I'm good at coming up with new ideas. I'm good at figuring out solutions. I tend to be pretty calm. I'm okay at working well under sort of time pressure and deadlines. That sort of thing doesn't bother me. And otherwise, it always depends on what job I'm being interviewed for.
Right.
I'm good at details. I'm good at spotting details, being very thorough, going through, I don't try to rush through things. I'll make sure it all gets done. So.
And I think you're also very organized.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You always prepare stuff, and I can see that.
Yeah, that probably goes with that. Okay, so those are some of our strengths and skills. What about some of Lucia's, and what else is she going to have to talk about in her job hunt? Let's read through day 2 and find out.
Lucia's job hunt. Warm-up question. What are you good at? List your skills.
I don't think they should ask personal questions. I don't feel comfortable with that.
It's quite normal in Taiwan. They'll often ask for a photo too.
But why? Your looks have nothing to do with your skills. So day 2 starts and we see Simon is leaning over Lucia's shoulder, pointing at the computer screen. And he says, I don't think they should ask personal questions. I don't feel comfortable with that. So why do you think Simon feels that way about this kind of personal question stuff?
I wouldn't feel comfortable at all. And
No.
I hate it when job interviewers ask me too many personal questions. And of course, I hate it filling out those long job applications as well. It's can't we just talk about the job and leave my personal life out of it? Yeah, even when I'm talking to my good friends, I don't want to sound like a nosy Nancy,
Right.
I wouldn't say, hey, what do you like to do? I think asking a lot of questions is kind of like interrogations, especially personal ones.
I think about as personal as I've gotten when I'm interviewing people is just to try and get an idea like how long might you stay in Taiwan? Because if for our job we don't want to hire somebody who in a year is just going to go like, okay, bye, I'm leaving the country.
But that makes sense.
Because if we're training them, we want them to stay for a long time. So that's about as personal as I get. I don't want to find out. I mean, it'd be great to know about their interests because that's
Hobbies,
something they can write about. We want to know that. But that's kind of normal personal question. That's not
too personal.
That's not personal. That's not
but do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend? I wouldn't.
No,
I'm like
never ask that
or
kind
why
of stuff.
aren't you married?
Yeah, that's something you don't want to ask about. But Lucia says it's quite normal in Taiwan, and she adds they'll often ask for a photo too. And Simon adds, but why? Your looks have nothing to do with your skills. And just for contrast, there's a photo of Simon looking very goofy or silly in some picture. Yeah, now that's a kind of, and this is where unfortunately I think it's different for men and for women. And it gets a bit creepy, I think, if you put it in that.
Yeah, and I know this sounds a bit judgmental and sexist, but here in Taiwan, I think some employers are all about hiring good-looking women. I know that sounds kind of creepy. 真的就是有点心态不 OK 的老板会以貌取人，然后说我想要找正妹职员。Yeah, and I agree with you about the creepy feeling, I think. But in fact, I've seen girls taking sexy selfies to try and land a job, which is both hilarious and sad at the same time. Yeah, so do you think it's a good idea to let employers see our social media accounts?
No.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, unless it's the sort of job as maybe if it was like an influencer job, or you're going to be doing that kind of advertising in that way, then sure, you have to share a bit of that. But otherwise, no, like what I do in my personal time is going to be very different from what you are hiring me to do as a job. So, I mean, if it relates to work skills, I've got a background as an actor, I could bring that up and say, especially because I've organized plays, I've directed plays that shows things like management and organizational skills. That I might bring up because it's proof of a skill, but certainly not hey, check out some of my silly pictures and things that I share on Facebook.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my future boss creeping on my social media.
No.
Yeah, but some employers, they kind of do a background check by checking your Instagram, Facebook. Here in Taiwan, that is.
Okay, well, I don't think that's a good thing.
Is applying for a job in the UK the same?
It's not like this. Companies usually just want to see your CV and portfolio. After that, they might invite you for an interview. Most interviews are online these days, but I like them face-to-face.
Speak of the devil. One company just asked for an interview.
Lucia says, is applying for a job in the UK the same? Simon says, it's not like this. Now, I haven't. The last time I applied for a job in the UK is going back almost 20 years at this point. But Simon says companies usually just want to see your CV and portfolio. After that, they might invite you for an interview. Most interviews are online these days, but I like them face-to-face. And there's a picture of Simon in a suit doing an interview and looking cool. So you might see the words or the initials CV there and think, what is that? A CV, it's curriculum vitae, or I think that's how you pronounce it. It's been a while. It just means story of your life, essentially. And it's just what people in some parts of the world call resume.
Yeah.
In the States, they'll say resume. In the UK, and I think Australia and a few other places, they will say CV. It's just that list of all your jobs, experiences, education, and so on that you send to pretty much any job you apply for.
Yeah, CV or resume 其实都有履历的意思或是简历 And sometimes you might bring your portfolio 就是你的作品集
Yeah, the work you've done, some of your best writing or photographs, especially if it's that kind of creative industry.
Right, and speaking of online interviews or face-to-face, which one do you prefer?
I'm fairly easy either way. During the COVID times, I did a lot of online interviews with people who wanted to work here. I've done them in the past for stuff. I don't find them to be a big problem myself.
Same. I'm cool with either.
Yeah. At this point in time, with everybody being so familiar with technology, I don't think
it makes a big difference.
It doesn't. It's not and I'm not going to blame somebody if they have like dodgy, slow internet or their sound echoes a bit or something. You know, everybody's got their own internet set up. So, but you feel the same?
Yeah, I feel the same. Probably for the boss, like maybe meeting face to face is a little bit better to get a true sense of the person's personality. Yeah, but as an interviewee, I think either is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we then go back to the article. We see Lucia gets an email and she says, "Speak of the devil. One company just asked for an interview." And since that's great news, we see Lucia and Simon high five.
Cute.
So, yeah, it's always nice to get that email that says like, "Hey, thanks for your application. We would love to have an interview," or "Congratulations, you've got the job." You just get that good feeling that lasts for the rest of the day. On the other hand, if you get the email that says, "Thank you for applying, but we're not going to continue right now," then you've got that with you for the rest of the day as well, that sort of disappointment. But yeah, I've been rejected for jobs. I've got jobs, and you just kind of have. Sometimes you might be right, but just not at the right time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you got to think of it when you get rejected for a job. It doesn't mean that you're a failure.
Or sometimes they just found the other person earlier than you showed up. Yeah, I've been to interviews like they told me they probably already have somebody, but they're going to have the interview with me anyway.
Right.
Maybe they might want to work with me in the future, so that's why they're having that interview.
Yeah, and there's often stuff behind the scenes. Like now I've been on the other side of it, then I'll know things like, well, we've got 2 or 3 candidates and this one's good and this one's good and you have to make the choice. But sometimes it's just a gut feeling or, oh, this person might work out better because of this reason. And it's not because the other person did anything wrong. There's nothing bad about them. And under other circumstances, you're like, yeah, we'd hire you, no problem. But just in this particular circumstances, we've got to go with somebody else. So it can be any sort of situation like that. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. We've got a good idiom here as well. Speak of the devil.
I love it.
Yeah. Kind of just means like, it is a saying, like you speak of the devil and he appears.
There's exactly the same thing in the Chinese idiom that says 说曹操,曹操就到. Yeah, it was during the Three Kingdoms period in China, 三国. Yeah, so Cao Cao is actually not a nice person.
I've read the story. I've read the
He's
Three
not a
Kingdoms.
devil though.
Yeah, he's
just cunning.
He's a very interesting character to read, but I can see why he's on the borderline. He's not necessarily a good guy. He's not necessarily a bad guy. He's divisive. Like people can't make up their mind. But that's the end of this article. Good news for Lucia. I'm now going to hand over to Laura for teaching the word power and magic box for this unit, and I'll join you again when we get to our review time activity.
OK， 现在呢，我们就来认真一点来学习今天的单字有哪些。Comfortable 这个形容词就是自在的、放心的。我们也可以用 comfy C-O-M-F-Y， 这是比较口语的说法，表示很舒服。那我们来看一下例句哦。When people start asking me personal questions, I feel like a cat in a bathtub. Definitely not comfortable. 真的，我很不喜欢人家问我太私人的问题哦。看一下课文例句怎么说。Ken feels comfortable around his close friends. Me too. OK, Ken 在这非常好的朋友身边时感到十分自在哦。再来 often 这个字哦，这个是一个副词哦，有通常的意思。 For example, Sally often takes her kids to the park on weekends. 意思就是 Sally 通常会在周末带她的孩子们去公园。那本课的 look 注意是当作名词来用，就是外表或者是相貌 your appearance. When looking for a boyfriend, I don't care about looks as long as the person can make me laugh. 这是真的哦，就是我觉得如果我要找男朋友的话，我觉得外表是其次，我觉得他的个性如果搞笑或是很有趣，会让我更心动。我们再来看一下课文例句的用法。I like the look of that cake with the strawberries on top. 我喜欢这个蛋糕的样子，它上面有草莓装饰。再来，我们看到了 invite 这个动词，就是邀请，它的名词邀请或是邀请函是 invitation. For example, I'm going to invite my friends over for a sleepover. We can watch movies and play games. 我很喜欢就是邀请朋友来我家睡，然后过夜，这样子我们就可以一直看电影啊，玩游戏，然后可能会一直聊天到不睡觉哦。看一下课文例句的用法。The teacher invited the parents to come to school. 这名老师邀请家长来到学校。那刚刚呢，其实我们有学到一句话，就是 have nothing to do with， 就是跟什么无关 ？OK， 像是呢，可能就是你今天看到花瓶被打破，可是真的不是你打破，你就刚好站在旁边，那你就可以说 I don't want to understand why you're blaming me for breaking the vase. It has nothing to do with me, I swear. 不关我的事情，跟我没关系哦。类似的说法还有 I have nothing to do with that, or That's not my problem. OK， 那你有没有常常遇过，就是有一种人，他完全是状况外跟你尬聊，明明你不是在讲这个话题，结果他要扯东扯西，这时候你就可以这样子回他说This has nothing to do with that， 或者是 That's not what we're talking about。好，这就是 have nothing to do with 的用法，希望你们都学会咯。Let's now go to review time.
Review time.
So for our review time activity today, we're going to look at all 8 word power from these 2 days.
Wow.
We had form, hunt, example, and character from day 1. Comfortable, often, look, and invite from day 2. And we're going to challenge each other to make sentences that feature 2 of these word power words. They can be from either day. So, Laura, I will challenge you to use the words often from day 2 and hunt from day 1.
Oh, let me think about it. Hunt. Oh, okay, I've got this. And I'm going to use hunt as a verb and as a noun in my sentence.
Wow.
I often hunt for my favorite toys when I clean my room. It's like a treasure hunt.
Oh, excellent. Okay, you pick 2 words and challenge me.
What about look and invite?
Okay. The famous celebrity only invites people with good looks to his party.
Well, that makes sense. And
Okay.
that's a great sentence I thought that was a really challenging one.
Okay,
Wow.
well, there we go. Now, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks very much for listening to us, everybody. For A+ English, I'm Pat.
And I'm Laura.
And we'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.
Magic Box.
Love's an open door. Whoa. Oh, my Prince Charming hands. 再过了数个冰冷的冬天，安坐我终于遇见了我想厮守终身的王子。Hands, love is an open door. 哎呦，而且你知道吗？艾莎姐姐她终于愿意出房门了，我真的好开心。虽然呢，她常常的不理我，我还是超级爱她的，好吗？Although Elsa often ignores me, I still love her. 哦，我现在最爱的2个人都在我身边了，真的是好开心。虽然怎么样可以怎么样，我们呢就可以用到 although 这个连接词来表示哦。Although Elsa often ignores me, I still love her. Although Elsa often ignores me, I still love her. 这时候啊 although 放在句首表示虽然怎么样，虽然 Elsa 真的是不常理我啦，但是呢，我还是很爱她哦。那当然啦，这个 although 除了放在句首，它其实啊也是可以摆在句中的哦。那像刚刚例句来说，我们就可以换成 I still love Elsa, although she often ignores me. I still love Elsa, although she often ignores me. 只要把2个子句交换位置，然后呢，在 although 的前面加上一个逗号就可以咯。那其实啊，这句话呢也就等于 Elsa often ignores me, but I still love her. Elsa often ignores me, but I still love her. 这都是一样的意思啦。那同学有没有发现，中文呢，我们虽然会把虽然和但是放在一起，但英文呢是万万不可以的哦。如果呢你听到 Although Elsa often ignores me, but I still love her， 安呢唔对呢，要特别的小心啦。Why？ 你们说安总啊，你干嘛突然哭起来呀？变太快了吧？安总，我不能哭吗？不是啦，真的不是我转变太快好吗？而是你知道吗 ？Elsa 姐姐刚刚竟然跟我说什么 ？Hans 是个大骗子，他只是为了接管我们的王国才假装爱我。不，我不敢相信。这时候姐姐就劝我啦 ，Although he's handsome, he's actually a mean person. Although he's handsome, he's actually a mean person. 不，我不想听，我听不到你说话。好啦，姐姐刚才说什么呢？她说啊，虽然呢他长得很帅，可是呢，其实他是个很mean、很凶、很不好的人。这边呢，我们就一样用到 although 的句型哦。although 放在句首呢，意思是啊，虽然他很帅，但是他心地不好。同学们，那如果是把这个 although 放在句中，你们还记得要怎么变化吗？好啦，没错，就是呢 ，He's actually a mean person, although he's handsome. He's actually a mean person, although he's handsome. 好啦，那就是把2个子句交换位置 ，although 前面加上逗号就可以咯。天哪，我真的是不敢相信，真的是人帅有什么用呢？是个大骗子吗？我觉得我一定是被爱冲昏头了，我还是相信艾莎姐姐好的。Although I still have feelings for him, it's time to give up. Although I still have feelings for him, it's time to give up. 虽然我对 Hans 还是有点感觉啦，不过我觉得我还是要放弃了。嘘，不要吵我，先让我大哭一场。Love is an open, no, it's not an open door.